Guys, welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to show you how to implement two easy ways to implement touch controls. And if you just began mobile development and saw a tutorials about implementing touch controls, you must know it's tedious, it's hard, tons of code to write. So in this video, just two ways, really simple ways, under 100 lines of code. It's simple. So with that said, let's get to the video. So guys, I've already set up my scene in version 2.0A8, and as you can see, I just have a platform and a ball, and I already have a script to move it left and right. But this is in keyboard, we're going to implement this in touchscreen. So firstly, if you want your scene or game to run on a mobile, so just go to build settings, and just from Windows, Mac or Linux, just click on iOS. If you don't have the package installed, you can just go to Unity Hub and install it, but I already have it installed, so I'm going to say switch platform. I'm going to run this on iPhone 6. So just going to say switch platform, and once you click switch platform, it's just going to do its whole thing of switching the whole scene to iOS. So just let it build and it'll work. Now to connect your phone, you need your charging cable, that is a USB, and your phone. And you also need Unity Remote 5. That is the app in which you're going to connect your Unity editor to the mobile. It's not the final build, so your game may look really low res. It's completely fine, it's completely normal. You're just using this to test your touch controls, whether it works or not. So just take your USB cable, connect it to your laptop or PC. So guys, the first thing we're going to do is implement the first method, which is by using touch count, which I'll explain in 1 minute. So for now, just write a new function. I'm going to call it touch movement. In that, make an if statement. I'm going to write input dot touch count greater than 0. So this basically tells us the amount of touches on the screen, and we want it to be greater than 0. Inside that, we're going to make another if statement and write input dot get touch 0 dot position dot x, as we want to move left and right, so that's why we're saying x-axis, greater than screen dot width divided by 2. So basically, get touch gets a specific touch in the screen, so we want the first touch. That's why we say 0. In coding, 0 means 1. Yes, that's what it means. So after doing that, we are going to make the player move. So if position x is greater than the screen width divided by 2, we can either go right or left. So in this case, I want to move it right. So there's many ways. We can do transform.translate, transform.position, or we can use the rigid body component. So for this, I'm going to use the rigid body. So for that, we're going to make a new variable. We're going to say public rigid body. I'm going to call it RB. And in the start function, we're going to tell RB is equal to get component rigid body. So we're doing this so we can prevent null exception errors, and we're telling that we want to access the rigid body component from the particular game object. So that's what we're trying to do in this statement here. So after doing that, we'll say rb.velocity, as we want the player's speed to change. That's why we're saying velocity plus equal to time dot delta time into, and here I want to put a speed variable, because just by saying rb.velocity, the speed is just not going to change unless we put like a value to multiply. So for that, I'm gonna create another variable called public int move speed, and here I'm gonna multiply it with move speed into vector 3. Since this is 3D, so we're going for vector 3, as that is x, y, and z axis, but we're only moving the x axis for now. Vector 3 dot right. So now our player is going to go right, guarantee. If you want to move left, just duplicate this if statement and change this greater than to less than sign, and from vector 3 dot right change it to left. And that is it for our coding. Not much, I told you, right? But the last thing we have to do is write touch movement, or else it's not going to work. So just write touch movement, save your code, go to the editor. So whichever is your main player, click on that, add your rigid body component, and even drag your script. So I have touch controls, I'm going to drag the script, and needs a rigid body, so drag the player here, it'll take the rigid body, and I want speed to be 50. So now before we run it in the editor, let's connect our phone. So guys, I forgot to mention earlier that before you run your scene, go to the edit tab, go to your project settings, and inside project settings you have something called device, and just connect to the device you have connected to your laptop. So mine is iPhone 6 Plus, and once you do that and you click run, the game will pop up on your phone if you have Unity Remote open. If your device is not connected, it will not pop up in Unity Remote. So make sure it's connected right now. And as you can see, if I just touch right and left, it works. Congrats! The first implementation works. Now we're going to learn the second one, which is also really easy. So for the second method, we're going to implement buttons. And if you did not know, buttons by default is touch already. Like if I just implement the buttons in the editor and play it on my mobile, it's gonna work by default. So that's really great. So to do that, first just go to your hierarchy, right click, click on UI, and click on canvas. And in your canvas, right click again, go to UI, click on button, and you need two buttons, so do the same thing again. So after having two buttons, I'm gonna move my scene here and just position them in a way that you know where you want the touch controls to be. I'm gonna make them big, so just click on this tool right here and just enlarge them. So you know, because we're gonna make this transparent, it's basically going to be a right and a left area where if the player clicks, the object is gonna go left and right. But the player does not know it's buttons, you know, they don't know, but we know. So with that, let's set it up. So after you finish setting up your buttons, just change the color to really, like, you want this to be a bit transparent for now for testing purposes. So I'm gonna make a test color to a light blue, make it a bit transparent. Do the same thing for the other button. Once we did, just test whether the buttons really work. So they work for me. So after that, just go to your project, just click on create new script, and you can type whatever you want. I'm just gonna say button touch. So guys, for the second implementation, the touch controls is a bit different, as this will be like your touch multiple times. I will show you this after we finish. So for this, we don't need the update method at all, we only need the start method. So we're gonna make two more functions called void right, and we're gonna make this public void right and left. So after you have written two functions, you just need to have the rigid body and the move speed again So to do that, just go to touch controls, just take these two variables, copy them, put it here, and here you need this get component. You need to reference the rigid body, so take that too, go to the start function, paste that there. And for the right and left, you see this rb.velocity. We only need that line of code. Copy that and paste it here. And I'm just going to change vector3.right to left for the left function. And that is pretty much it. Now, other than that, we can go to our editor. Now what we have to do is drag button touch to our player. So now I have dragged button touch. I'm going to bring the rigid body and change move speed to like 30. After that, go to your buttons, and here you're going to find a function called on click. Here you can just see it's on click, list is empty. Just click on the plus sign and just drag your main player which you want to really move. Click that and you'll find this drop box. Go to the script which you have dragged to this. If you made a function public, it will appear here. If it's not public, it will not appear. So make it public if you haven't. And for this button, just set it right or left. So this button needs to be left. For the other one, set it to right. Do the same thing. Drag your main player on this drop box, go to your script and press right. And if I click play, you can see our player down moves, but as you can see, we need to press it multiple times. It is not like the previous one. If you just touch, it will follow where you have touched. You have to click and it will move in the x-axis, left and right. I'm going to show you in a mobile now. So guys, if you want your buttons to be transparent, like you want the screen to be clean, just go to your buttons, and if you see here normal color, highlighted color, all these properties, just click on them and change your alpha value to 0. This will make your screen completely clean and all your buttons transparent, and they will still work. So guys, if you see, if I just touch right or left, the player now moves. And this is more of a spammy click, you know, you just click multiple times, and there are games that support this kind of functionality. So if you're looking for that, this is for you. If you want like an endless runner where you just click on one place and the player will follow you, the other one method, the first method, is for you. So guys, with that said, you have touch controls now, and it's really simple. You just saw under 100 lines of code. You don't need any of that complicated nonsense. So I hope it helped you. If it did, please like, comment, and if you did not understand anything, comment down below. I will try my best to help you. So please subscribe and like, please. And with that said, bye.